Hey there, there's another sport on Monday. It's baseball. And somebody asked me to do an MLB column, is the way they worded it in the comments. And I thought, I have an MLB algorithm. I can prepare that for you today, just for the heck of it. Because there really isn't too much going on other than the other preseason football game. So we'll talk about baseball. I did update the algorithm, did update some rosters. Baseball algorithm can be helpful. It's not my favorite sport to bet and certainly not my favorite sport to watch. But is there anything that this algorithm says is a good pick? Because just like all the algorithms, you can get some information from this. Well, at its most basic level, it does separate out the games between games that are supposed to be more lopsided than others. That would be Atlanta, Seattle, Chicago Cubs, and Philadelphia. Those four teams have margins above 10%. That means that they are favored by the algorithm and should win more often than they don't. So all those are favorites. However, if you're going to do like a 4-team round robin or something, these are the ones it says. Just without doing too much thinking, that's what it would say. Atlanta, Seattle, the Cubs, and Philadelphia. I don't know if I'm going to bet that, but that is just basically what the algorithm says. Coming up close is Texas and San Diego. And then these other games are toss-ups, but they're also all underdogs. So it's certainly saying don't take these teams. It's saying that Oakland, Houston, and St. Louis, which are probably favored lines, are not good picks according to the algorithm. If you were to make straight bets on the three of them, you're probably going to go, it says you'll probably go 2-1 down there, but you might go 1-2. So it's very close down here at the bottom. So you want to stay more toward where there's lopsided matchups, which are these four. Now let's look at what the matchups actually say by score and projection, because you do get a good deal of information from this. So it's saying the Cubs 6-3 over Detroit. Detroit's lineup factor terrible. They just don't hit the ball very well. High ERA for Alex Fado. His WHIP is not bad, but his ERA is not great. Javier Assad has been okay, and the Cubs apparently hit the ball better. Their BABIP's better. So it says Cubs win this game at only -122 on the road. So that's why they're up there. It's the number 3 pick. San Francisco and Philadelphia. Philadelphia 5-4. Okay, a little bit closer game. It does have Philly up here winning. Sean Manaea's 4-3, but only pitches about 3 innings a game. So he doesn't go deep, is what it's saying. So you're relying a bit more on San Francisco's bullpen, which is not bad. So this is a closer game. As you can see, it comes out as 5-4. And it's a number 4 pick, but it's not a great pick. While Aaron Nola is good, this is a little bit more wishy-washy. The Cubs are a stronger pick, according to the algorithm, and it says so. It says they're number 3, but looks like considerably stronger at 17% margin. Next, St. Louis going with a AAA pitcher who's given up some runs in AAA against Pittsburgh's Bailey Falter at 0-7. 5-5 games. So what is this saying here? It's saying over, everybody. The lineup factors are not great, but the pitching is super suspect, and the bullpens are suspect. So what's the over/under set at for that game? I believe it shows in the odds sheets. The over/under is going to be like right here. So the St. Louis Pittsburgh game, yeah, the over/under set at 10. Odds makers are understanding that. So there's not a tremendous amount of value in trying to take the over here. You can see why this is a toss-up game. It's interesting how, you can explain a lot about what the odds makers are doing by looking at the matchup. Will they get to 10? Oh man, it's a high over/under. It's a tough call there. So not really a clear pick. Mets in Atlanta. This is the number 1 pick, is Atlanta -215 at home. The line, I've seen worse lines before. Atlanta clear across the board. They do have Alan Williams, who only had 1 start, but apparently, maybe more than 1 start. He pitches about 6 innings a game. He's probably had 2 starts, and he's 1-0. Their lineup factor's better. Their bullpen's better. The Mets have not impressed this year. So this is the big pick to win, is really Atlanta. If you go with 1 team to win on a parlay or something, it's Atlanta today. Next, it's Seattle and the White Sox, and Seattle's the number 2 pick. Picking them to win 5-2. Luis Castillo, good pitcher, good record. Touki Toussaint, 1-4 with a 4 ERA, as well as the Seattle bullpen being stronger. So this is a Seattle win as well. This is the number 2 pick of the game. Also very strong. So it's your Atlanta, your Seattle, and your Cubs are really your to win picks for the day when you're looking at premium picks for the day. And you'd like to try to do something with the over in this St. Louis-Pittsburgh game, but it's already set at 10. So it's one of those things where you can try to take an alternate over at a very good line, like over 13 or something like that, thinking they really knock it out of the park. But you're going to want to check on the weather in Pittsburgh, make sure it's hot. The ball should be flying out of there. It's a possibility because it does see some runs with all this red here. Not necessarily with the lineup factor. It would be nicer if these teams were better hitting teams to begin with. That's the only problem with this, but the pitching matchup does spell runs. Boston and Houston. Says Boston, but barely. Very tough game to pick the winner. Closer games, you can also potentially look for overs because they're going to be fighting for runs. Kansas City, Oakland, a lot of runs. Here, Kansas City's lineup factor a little better than you would think. Oakland's not so much. So Kansas City, an underdog line, says they win by margin, but not by score. This is probably one of those that wins, is Kansas City winning on the road here. And then Miami and San Diego has San Diego as the 6th pick of the day, but really has them winning by runs a lot. And that's due to Ryan Weathers' ERA. So San Diego putting up some runs early in that game is likely, given what you see here. So San Diego maybe in the first 5 innings, team over in runs is a possibility, given their lineup factor is pretty good, and they're going up against Weathers, who will pitch about 4 innings in this game. Then there's Texas and Arizona, where it favors Texas. You've got limited pitching stats for Slade Pichoni. So that makes this game a little bit more difficult to predict. He hasn't pitched awfully, 0-0 out of his 10 innings, but his ERA is not terrible. So this is an okay game down here, tough to predict. So in summary, after looking over baseball, it's saying that if you want to just make it simple and go with winners, it's actually these 3. It's Atlanta, Seattle, and Chicago. And you can see they're green here in margin. Those are the ones the algorithm think wins. If you want low stress and you want to win this more frequently than starting to get crazy with other types of picks, it's these 3 to win on your round robin or your parlay. I know they're favorites. I know the lines are not great, but you can see it puts San Diego further down here, puts Texas further down here, even puts Philadelphia further down here. And so those are the premium picks. All right. That was baseball. It's available. I don't have a separate price for this. I sell just for $25, but I don't update it. You have to update it yourself, and there's an update process that goes with this. But it is available. It's inexpensive. I don't monitor it every day, and I don't follow baseball every day, especially as we get into the fall and I start doing a ton of different sports. So it's available, but that's a look at baseball for August 21st. Good luck. May all your picks be winning.